Brock is the founder of Dream Hustle Code, a nonprofit that empowers Black and Brown youth with the tools needed to become producers of new technology and not just be consumers. With programming that's grown to include after-school coding leagues, tours to Silicon Valley, and virtual tech field trips, the goal of Dream Hustle Code is to close the wealth and opportunity gaps that exist in underrepresented and underestimated communities. Ian works to empower young people to dream bigger, hustle harder, and be writers of their own life code. Thank you so much, Ian, for joining me today here on AwareNow to share this space and to share your story. Thank you so much.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story. I really do appreciate you for bringing me on today.
Absolutely. So let's begin with introductions. You being Ian Brock, founder of Dream Hustle Code, and me being Allié McGuire, founder of AwareNow. I would like to know about your introduction to code. When and how did you first start coding?
So my whole entire journey started back when I was 8 years old. So this was back in 2013. It's funny because the reason I got into tech was actually because of a basketball player. So my mom, she came across this video on Facebook that was titled "What Most Schools Don't Teach." And in this video, it talked about the importance of computer science and how every single kid should learn how to code. Now, mind you, I was only 8. I didn't really care about that. All I cared about was having fun with my friends, getting good grades in school, and playing basketball. And while I was watching this video, I saw people like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. At that time, I didn't know who they were, nor could I really care less about what they were talking about. But what grabbed my attention was the fact that I saw a 2-time NBA champ and now Hall of Famer, Mr. Chris Bosh, and I heard him talking about his experiences with computer science and tech and how he coded in high school. So hearing from somebody that not only looked like me and somebody I could actually relate to, that's what really got me started on my journey in technology in the first place. Had I never seen this video, we would have never started Dream Hustle Code, and I wouldn't even be here today having this interview with you.
Very interesting. But you make a really good point there too. Just not only someone who looks like you, but someone who has the same sort of interests as you, someone who you can relate with and identify with.
Absolutely. It's like one of your, I guess you could say superheroes, but your people that you look up to, right? It's easy for somebody to influence you, especially when you look up to them. So, luckily it was right down the right path in technology, and it allowed me to create this company here.
Awesome. Well, so here's the thing. A lot of kids fear going to school and being called names. Nerd being one of them. You, Ian, proudly claim and coin the name New Nerd. My question for you is, what does this title mean to you, and why are you proud to own it?
So, I mean, it's essentially who I am, right? Everyone, as you mentioned, when they think of the word nerd, they think of somebody with big, bulky glasses who's always in a book and super smart, but very awkward and not a social person. But New Nerd is a combination of the both worlds and showing kids, yes, it's cool to be smart. You can learn how to code. You can be good with math. You can love to read, but you can also have fun. You could love sports. You could love fashion. You could love music. You could love video games. You could love partying and have fun. Again, it's the combination of the best of both worlds, but it's essentially who I am. I love reading. I love educating myself. I love financial literacy, coding, all these different things, but I love having fun too. I'm a gamer. I love playing video games. I love playing sports. My dream was to go to the NBA at one point when I was little, right? I love fashion. I love music. I love partying and concerts. And so it's essentially who I am. And that's why we came up with the phrase New Nerd, to really just showcase the kids that we're taking that old idea of what a nerd is and reshaping it into something new.
I absolutely love it. I'm going to talk for a moment about your nonprofit, Dream Hustle Code. I want to know, what is your mission here? What is the goal of what you put together?
So the whole entire mission of Dream Hustle Code is to get kids to have a bigger vision of what's possible for themselves and in their future. Our whole idea is, how can we help kids not only do that, but become the best versions of themselves? And we do that through 3 different ways: through technology and computer science, personal development, as well as financial literacy. All 3 of those pillars are the 3 pillars that made up who I am today. I started tech when I was 8 years old. I started learning about personal development through my dad watching motivational videos or listening to it on his BlackBerry. and then eventually reading Think and Grow Rich when I was 8, to then learning about financial literacy when I was 6, whether income versus expenses, assets and liabilities, all those different things. And essentially what we want to do is, our goal and what we're doing right now is building a pipeline to take kids who have had no experience in any of these areas, get them exposure, train them, and to eventually either pipeline them into a job opportunity or help nurture their ideas for whatever companies that they may want to create in the future. But yeah, it's essentially giving kids not only hope, but also a plan on how they can create the future that they want.
Looking at your site, looking at all the work you've done and the things that you continue to do, what I loved is how you had mentioned that it was, as opposed to our youth just consuming tech, right? To be able to create it.
Absolutely.
And so I love that, to be able to empower youth, especially communities that perhaps don't get the exposure that others do. And so for you, again, just to be able to give that exposure to all that's possible helps people to have a bigger, brighter vision. Yeah.
Absolutely. And more so because most people just don't know, right? Nobody goes or aspires to be something that they don't think of. So, and the communities that they serve, all they really believe in is either becoming an athlete, entertainer, or a social media influencer. But if you not, the thing is about those certain industries, number one, is very hard. The likelihood of you getting in those industries is very rare. You're probably more likely to win the lottery at times. But on top of that, the risks involved with it, right? You got the the longevity of impacting your body, also all the other things that come with it. But if kids just simply saw something different and they saw that they could create a career, a sustainable career, and take care of themselves and take care of their families, because that's all they really care about. How can they make money doing things that they're interested in? And by giving them that vision, I mean, that's really all about it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love that. And how simple it is, right? Because you don't know what you don't know until you know. So
Indeed, absolutely.
the fact that you're addressing it in this way, making it fun and approachable, accessible, it's awesome. So
Absolutely.
my last question for you today, Ian, is for those who are afraid of pursuing a career in tech because they feel like there are so many more unknowns than knowns, what advice do you have?
I would say, is the risk of you not knowing what could happen, is that worth missing out on? And let me explain that deeper, right? What is the best possible outcome with you diving into the tech space? Think about it. It could be you creating a new company. It could be you being the head of top of your class of the whole corporation. But what if that does happen? Are you willing to miss out on that opportunity simply because you were too afraid to take that first step? That's the question you got to ask yourself. I mean, because you never know what could happen. The best things in life are on the other side of fear. So whatever you're afraid of, look, understand it's not real. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. This literally says, people say that all the time. So I get it. I was there one time in my life where I was just afraid of taking that first step. But the only way to get past that fear is to just do the thing that you're afraid of. So if you're afraid of taking that first step, just do it. Reach out to somebody, a mentor on LinkedIn. There's plenty of different resources. It's too much information out there for you to fail. So why not take that risk and take that first step and step into your greatness? Because who knows? Not only can you change your life and your family's life, but you might go on to inspire someone else to do the same.
I love that. Love that. Step into your greatness, step onto the other side of fear. This is all great things. Thank you for taking the time today to share your story, to help all of us become a bit more aware now. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.